Welcome to the darkest corner. Today I'm taking a different step. I'm writing a generational story of horror and mystery and intrigue, seeing if this may work a little bit better than the two-story format I've been trying. I would love your opinions in the comments. And like always, please like and subscribe to support the channel and to allow me to grow. Thank you.
I never believed my life would be shaped by two encounters, separated by 25 years, that forced me to reconsider everything I thought I knew about the world. One happened when I was just a boy, the other, long after I had tried to forget. But the land doesn't forget, and sometimes the things that walk the night don't either. Part 1. The Boy and the Skinwalker. I grew up in the desert outskirts of northern Arizona, in a tiny community where your neighbors were so far away that you had to squint to know if they were waving or shooing away dust. The nights there were so dark they felt bottomless, like the sky wasn't above you, but around you. I was 12 the night everything changed. My grandfather had warned me for years not to wander far after sunset. He used to say there were old things out there, things that learned human shapes not from nature, but from watching us with hungry patience. I thought it was superstition, until the night my cousin Eli dared me to hike with him into the canyon behind our property. We were just trying to prove we weren't scared of anything. 2 flashlights, 1 pocket knife, and the kind of overconfidence only kids have. We walked maybe a mile in before we heard it. Not footsteps, not an animal, but mimicking, a voice, calling my name. At first, I thought it was my mom. It sounded almost like her, but just a little too deep, a little too stretched. "My Hilton, come here." Eli froze. "That's not her," he whispered. The voice called again, this time using Eli's name. My skin crawled. Something about the cadence felt wrong, like whoever, or whatever, was making the sound wasn't used to speaking. We shut off our flashlights and crouched behind a juniper bush. The desert went silent. No wind, no insects, not even the distant hum of the highway. Then we saw it, about 20 feet away, standing on the trail. At first, in the dark, it looked like a coyote. But as my eyes adjusted, I realized its limbs were too long, its posture too upright, its head slowly rotating as though sniffing the air for us. And then it stood, fully, on 2 legs. My breath caught in my throat. The thing's spine cracked into place like someone snapping twigs one by one. Its arms dangled, twitching, and even from where we hid, I could see patches of fur hanging off like old clothes. Then it began to speak again. "Come here, boys." But this time it was closer to human, almost as if it was learning with each word. Eli bolted. I followed. I swear I heard it chasing us, its steps uneven, more like impacts than footfalls. The ground vibrated with each one. I didn't look back. We burst out of the canyon and didn't stop running until we reached my grandfather's porch. He pulled us inside, locked all 3 deadbolts, and shut every curtain. He didn't ask what happened. He just said, "It saw you. It knows you now. Don't ever go back there at night." For years I didn't. But I never forgot the feeling of being hunted by something wearing the shape of a story. Part 2, 25 years later. I'm not the kid I used to be. Life moved on. I moved states, had a job, relationships, bills, things that bury childhood nightmares. But last year, my grandfather passed away. I drove back to Arizona for the funeral and decided to stay a few days to settle his property. I hadn't been on that land since I was a teen. On my second night there, the desert felt exactly the same. Too quiet, too heavy with the kind of emptiness you don't feel in civilized places. I wasn't afraid, not the way I was as a kid. I was older now, rational. But when I walked behind the house toward the canyon, something felt off, familiar in a way I didn't like. I brought a flashlight and a gun. The trail was exactly where it had always been, though more overgrown now. I followed it out of nostalgia, or maybe morbid curiosity. About half a mile in, I heard movement in the brush. Large movement. Something big. The first thing that hit me was the smell. Strong, musky, like wet animal fur mixed with rot. Then the branches ahead of me shifted. A massive shape lumbered into view. At first, I thought it was a bear, but it stood much taller, 7, maybe 8 feet. Its silhouette was huge, shoulders broad, movements deliberate but heavy. And then it stepped into clearer moonlight. It wasn't a bear. It was something else entirely. Powerful, upright, with long arms and thick matted hair. Its chest rose and fell with deep breaths that sounded like they rattled through a massive rib cage. A Bigfoot. Or whatever the real thing is that gave rise to the stories. It studied me with dark, reflective eyes. Intelligent ones. Not hostile, but not friendly either. More calculating. I didn't move, didn't breathe. For a moment, I felt almost connected to it in some ancient, primal way, like staring across time itself. Then something else happened. From deeper in the canyon came a screech. Long, warped, familiar. A screech I had heard 25 years ago. The Bigfoot's entire posture shifted. Its head turned sharply toward the canyon. It growled, low and resonant. Then it stepped back, putting distance between itself and whatever had made that sound. I realized something horrifying. It wasn't here for me. It was here because of the other thing. The same thing that had chased me as a boy. The Skinwalker. The Bigfoot emitted another growl, warning something unseen. The brush trembled on the far side of the ravine, and I swear I saw a tall silhouette perched unnaturally on a boulder, its limbs bent at impossible angles. 2 monsters, 2 legends, in the same place, staring each other down. The desert held its breath. Then the Skinwalker's voice echoed through the canyon. Me-Ilton. It remembered me, even after all these years. The Bigfoot bellowed, an earth-shaking roar that rattled through my bones. The shape on the boulder scrambled back into the dark. The forest went quiet, and the Bigfoot turned its gaze to me one last time. Not attacking, not approaching, just watching. Then it retreated into the trees, disappearing with surprising silence for something so massive. I didn't waste a second. I sprinted back toward the house like a child again, like that 12-year-old who had once run from the same creature now lurking somewhere in that canyon. Outro. I left the next morning, locked up the house, haven't been back since. But I can't shake the truth. The Skinwalker remembered me. And something else out there, something ancient and powerful, stood between us in the dark. I don't know if it was protecting me or warning me. But I do know one thing. Some places are marked by more than history. They're marked by the things that claim them, and both of those things, the one that hunts and the one that watches -- are still out there, waiting.